In this lesson, we're going to have a look at the chain rule for differentiation, which is a rule that massively simplifies and speeds up a certain type of differential when we apply a differential to a function of a function. So what do I mean by a function of a function? Well, let's say we've got this function here, 3x plus 7. Then we wrap another function around it. Let's say the cubed operator. That's a function of a function. Let's say I do, I don't know, tan x, like that. If I wrap another function around it, say a square root operator, that is a function of a function. An example of something that's not a function of a function would be if I say take e to the power of x and times it by x times e to the x. So that's two separate functions multiplied by each other. And I'll stress again, the chain rule only applies to these types here, functions of functions. So now let's do an example to show how the chain rule actually works and how it can speed up differentiating for us. And here's the example here. So this example asks us to differentiate with respect to x. So we've got y equals a function, 3x plus 7, wrapped in another function to the power of 5. A function of a function, therefore the chain rule, which I'm about to introduce to you, applies. So one thing we could do here is multiply out 5 sets of brackets, or do the binomial expansion on 3x plus 7 to the 5 and differentiate that way. But that will take an absolute age to do. It's going to take too long, and in the time constraints of an exam, it's not a practical way of doing something. So what we're going to do is as follows. Step 1, let u equal the innermost function and rewrite in terms of u. So the bit on the inside, the innermost function, which here, the bit wrapped into the power of 5 is 3x plus 7. 3x plus 7 is the innermost part. So let u equal 3x plus 7. Then rewrite in terms of u. We've got then y equals u to the power of 5. And that's step 1 done. So step 2, differentiate u to get du by dx and differentiate y to get dy by du. So the variables here are u and x, so it would give us du by dx. Here the variables are y and u, so it will give us dy by du. So you might want to pause the video at this point and try and do that bit yourself and see if your answer matches mine. But here we go. So du by dx equals simply 3. And dy by du equals 5u to the power of 4. So that's that step done. Let's keep going. And step 3, and this is where the magic happens. Multiply together your above differentials to get dy by dx. So before we do that, I'm going to explain why that gives us dy by dx. So if we multiply du by dx by our other differential dy by du, whilst du by dx and dy by du aren't fractions, they behave like fractions in this instance, with the du's essentially cancelling to give dy on the top and dx on the bottom. And that's why multiplying them together gives us dy by dx. So dy by dx equals, multiplying them together, 3 times 5u to the 4, which is equal to 15u to the 4. And what we've got there is a correct answer, but not one that would yet score full marks in an exam, because the original question here was nothing to do with u. U was something we introduced in order to make things a little bit easier. So let's conclude in terms only of the original variables, which were y and x. So dy by dx equals 15u to the power of 4. And there we have it, the differential. So you would have ended up with the same answer, or an equivalent answer rather, if you'd have multiplied out all 5 brackets or used the binomial expansion and then differentiated. But I'm sure you'll agree this 3-step method is far quicker, and this method is what I'm going to call the formal chain rule method. So the chain rule method showing full working. Let's have a go at another one. So same deal as before. Let's differentiate this with respect to x. But currently we can see it's not in a form that would normally be able to differentiate it in. Everything needs to be on the top of the fraction for us to be able to differentiate. That was one of the basic first rules of differentiation of fractions that we learned. So the first thing we're going to do is rewrite that as 6 x squared plus 5 to the power of negative 8. And now we're in business, now we're able to do something with it. So the first step, and you might want to pause the video and have a go at this one yourself. But the first step is let u equal the innermost part of the function, which is x squared plus 5. And that means that y equals 6u to the power of minus 8. Then we differentiate each of these. Du by dx equals, in this case, 2x, and dy by du equals minus 48 u to the minus 9 times by the power, take 1 from the power. Right, and then finally getting dy by dx, which implies dy by dx equals, and multiply them together, 2x times minus 48 u to the minus 9 equals minus 96x u to the power of minus 9. And remember, the question was nothing to do with the variable u. So putting it back in terms of the original variable, we get minus 96x, and then it's x squared plus 5 to the power of minus 9. And there it is. So that's the formal way of writing it down, but there's actually a way of making this much, much quicker and seemingly easier to do as well. So let's have a look at that now. So there's exactly the same questions again, but I'm going to show you a quicker way of thinking about it. So the way I look at this, y equals 3x plus 7 to the power of 5. What I do, I imagine someone standing outside of that who can't see through brackets. All he sees is bracket to the power of 5. So step 1, he differentiates what he sees without looking through the brackets. So dy by dx becomes 5 bracket to the power of 4. Then he looks in the bracket, sees that it was 3x plus 7. Then multiplies by the differential of what's in the bracket, which in this case is 3, which is equal to 15 3x plus 7 to the power of 4, which is exactly the same answer that we got there. Here it is here. So a much quicker way of thinking about it. So differentiate from outside the bracket first, look in, then differentiate what's inside the bracket. So in this case, before we differentiate, we'll write in a differentiable form like that, and dy by dx. So starting from outside the bracket, we see it's 6 bracket to the power of something. So in this case the power is minus 8, so 6 bracket to the minus 8. That becomes minus 48 bracket to the power of minus 9 times by the power, take 1 from the power. Then we look inside the bracket, we see it was x squared plus 5, and we want to times by that differential times 2x, which is equal to minus 96x x squared plus 5 to the power of minus 9. And there's that done, nice and quickly. So now let's apply this quick method to some problem solving scenarios, And the quick method, as I should have said before, is something you should use in the exam. The former method just takes too much time. The expectation is that you get your head around this quick method. So this question here, find the equation of the tangent of the curve y equals 6 over 4x plus 2 at the point at which x equals 2. Well, the first thing we're going to do is differentiate to find the gradient of the curve. So you might want to pause the video and have a go at this yourself. Then check your answer against mine. But here we go. Before we're ready to differentiate though, it needs to be written in a more differentiation friendly form. What I call an inline format rather than a fraction format. So that there now, writing it like that, y equals 6 lots of 4x plus 2 to the minus 1, that makes it differentiable. Now what I'm not going to do is the formal chain rule method where I let u equals, I'm going to use the quick method. So dy by dx, so differentiate the full thing from the outside without even looking inside the bracket. So times by the power, bracket, take 1 from the power, then we look inside the bracket and see it was 4x plus 2, and we multiply by its differential, times 4, equals minus 24, 4x plus 2 to the minus 2. So we've got the gradient formula there. Now if we let x equal 2, let x equal 2, which means that the gradient dy by dx equals minus 24, 4 lots of 2 plus 2 to the power of minus 2 equals, and let's put that in the calculator. So minus 24, 4 lots of 2 plus 2 to the power of minus 2 equals minus 6/25. And a useful function on the calculator for checking differentials, there's this differentiation function here, which is towards the top right, it's just above the integration button. So if I use that there, d dx, press shift then the integration button to get that, and I type in the original function, which was 6 over 4x plus 2, where the x is in the top right, and I want to evaluate that at x equals 2. Hopefully that gives me the same answer, minus 0.24, which is indeed equal to minus 6 over 25. So we've verified the answer. Quite a useful calculator function, that. Right, anyway, so we've got the gradient. Now we need the point on the line. So, again, x equals 2 implies that y equals 6 over 4 lots of 2 plus 2 equals 6/10 or 3/5. Right, okay, so now we've got everything we need to find the equation. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1, like that. Multiplying both sides by 25, I get 25y minus, so one of the 5's cancels and left with times 5, so that becomes minus 15 if I times 3/5 by 25 equals minus 6x plus 12, and getting that in some sort of reasonable 3-term form as would be expected by an exam board. We get 6x plus 25y, and minus 15 minus 12 is minus 27 equals 0, and we're done. So that's using the chain rule to find the equation of a tangent to a curve. You can also apply that to finding, pretty easily apply that to finding the normal to a curve as well. But let's now have a look at a stationary point question as well. And there's one there. Find the coordinates of any stationary points of y equals the square root of 5x squared plus 1 cubed, giving your answers in exact form. Well, first of all, that's not a differentiable form yet. So let's make it into a differentiable form. Well, it's square rooted and cubed, so that's power of 3 over 2. 5x squared plus 1 to the power of 3 over 2, power of 3 over 2 cubes and square roots it in either order. Which means that, well, let's differentiate it. And at this point, you might want to pause it, have a go yourself, see if you can manage it. Then check your answer against mine. So first thing, differentiate the full thing from the outside. Don't even look inside the bracket yet. We get 3 over 2 bracket to the power of, so times by the power, take 1 from the power. Then we look inside the bracket, say it was 5x squared plus 1, and multiply by the differential of that bracket, which in this case, the differential of 5x squared plus 1 is 10x. So that's equal to, so 3 over 2 times 10x, well that's 30 over 2x, or 15x. 5x squared plus 1 to the power of a half, which has stationary points when the gradient function dy by dx is equal to 0. So let's solve that now. Which means that, well, I can see that this here happens when x equals 0. And this here cannot equal 0. 5x squared plus 1 can't equal 0. So we're going to discard that solution. But first of all, 5x squared plus 1 equals 0 has no solutions. If we discard a particular part, we should say y. Okay, so we know that x equals 0 is a stationary point. So let's find the y coordinate of the stationary point, which means that y equals, so 5 0 squared plus 1 to 3 over 2, which is equal to 1. Therefore, a stationary point at 0, 1 in this case. And that's us done. So now have a go at the worksheet, doing every question and checking each answer as you go.